Alexandra Eala told The Surface she's going to really struggle on in 2026. Alexandra Eala has shot to tennis superstardom over the last year, and she seems poised to continue growing. After all, she is arguably the most well-supported player on the entire WTA Tour, filling whatever stadium she is put in with hordes of devout fans. The fact that she is already the greatest tennis player in the Philippines' history makes it easy for an entire nation to support her, and this country's roots across the globe mean wherever she goes, she is guaranteed to have fans flocking to her matches. However, despite this and the hype that comes with it, Alexandra Eala has now been backed to struggle during a key period of the season. Alexandra Eala expected to struggle on key surface in 2026. Speaking on Tennis Channel, Jimmy Arias began by praising the Filipina sensation, renowned for her raucous support. He claimed, "She's a fan favorite, obviously. Everywhere she goes, she has the Philippines cheering for her. They seem to travel to all the tournaments. So every match for her is a home match. And that's a great advantage. She thrives in that feeling, and once momentum swings in her favor, it's hard to get it back. That's exactly what happened in that first step today. She got the momentum, and this crowd was going absolutely bananas, and that bananas helped her through difficult times. She's mentally very strong. It's hard to believe it helps her that she's a lefty. Her serve is still slow enough that it feels as though it's going to be difficult for her. It's going to have to fight through tough moments because she doesn't get many free points. But right now, mentally, she's so strong, she's able to do it with the help of the crowd and how strong she is." Steve Johnson chimed in, adding, "Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that's what she has in spades. I mean, as Jimmy mentioned, she's not going to be Sabalenka. She's not going to be a Rybakina type where she could just go out and serve and hit her way out of matches. She's got to go out there and methodically, tactically go out there and beat her opponents, point in and point out, and she does such a good job at that. And when she gets that crowd on her side, she is a tough out." However, Arias did come to a worrying conclusion. She does play well on a quick court, because Miami's court was fast last year. That's where she made her huge breakthrough. She doesn't have her own power, but she can redirect power and use the quicker courts. Clay, I think, is where she's going to have some troubles. What's particularly worrying about this prediction, should it come true, is the fact that clay accounts for over 2 months of the tour's calendar. How Alexandra Eala reacted to incredible Abu Dhabi comeback. The Eala factor encompasses more than just vocal support. After all, she continues to defy expectations, as she will hope to with this latest clay court assumption. Most recently, she came from 0-4 down in the deciding third set of her round of 16 match against Alexandra Sasnovich. Facing almost certain defeat and an exit from the Abu Dhabi Open, she rallied to win the set on a tiebreak and the match. Eala's immediate reaction to that win was unsurprisingly emotional, as she admitted, "With a little bit of luck, it went my way. I was down match point and there was a lot of points where I could have given up, and that's what makes this win a lot more special. Those types of matches take so much out of you. There was a lot of tension on that court, and that was amplified by the super loud atmosphere." Predictions like that are usually whispered between analysts, tucked into footnotes of previews, or disguised as concern. But Alexandra Eala heard it anyway, echoing through comment sections, murmured in press rooms, slipping into questions that began with, "Do you worry that?" By 2026, they said, the surface would expose her. Clay too slow. Grass too foreign. Hard courts evolving faster than her game. The tour deeper, heavier, meaner. The next generation arriving with louder serves and shorter patience. Alexandra, they said, would struggle to keep up. She was talented, yes, but talent alone, they reminded everyone, does not survive the tour's grind. On paper, it sounded reasonable. Tennis loves logic. Tennis loves timelines. Tennis loves to decide who peaks when, and who fades quietly into qualifying draws and nostalgia. But tennis has never been played on paper. It's played on surfaces that crack, slide, burn, and lie. Alexandra learned that early. As a junior, the surface was never just the court, it was expectation. Being the first, from somewhere meant carrying weight before carrying trophies. Every win became proof. Every loss became prophecy. She learned to read between the lines long before she learned how to read the wind. So when 2026 began and the conversation returned, this is the year we find out. She smiled the same way she always did. Not because she agreed, but because she understood something they didn't. Struggle is not a verdict. It's a terrain. The season didn't open kindly. A tight loss here. A long 3-set match there. Commentators nodded knowingly. This is what we meant. They spoke about surfaces again. How her movement looked a fraction late, how her margin felt thinner now that everyone hit harder. What they missed was how she stayed after practice. How she learned to lose footing on purpose, just to find it again. How she adjusted her contact point not for power, but for time. How she listened more than she spoke. How she turned struggle into information. Alexandra stopped thinking of surfaces as enemies. Clay became patience. Grass became courage. Hard courts became honesty. On clay, she learned to wait without shrinking. On grass, she learned to step forward even when unsure. On hard courts, she learned that clean hitting meant nothing without clarity. Losses still came. Struggle still existed. But it no longer surprised her. By mid-season, something shifted, not in rankings but in rhythm. She began winning the matches people expected her to lose. Not dominantly, not loudly, but decisively. A break here. A hold under pressure. A refusal to rush the point when the moment begged for panic. Opponents started saying strange things in press conferences. She doesn't give you what you want. She makes you play another ball. She's tougher than she looks. Those sentences never trend. But they last. By the time the big tournaments arrived, the narrative had softened. Not reversed. Tennis rarely apologizes, but bent. Maybe she's adapting. Maybe we underestimated her. Maybe the struggle didn't break her. Alexandra didn't correct them. She had learned that being underestimated was a surface too, and one she knew how to play on. In one match, late in the year, she stood at the baseline as the crowd buzzed. The court beneath her was scuffed, uneven, unforgiving. The kind of surface people said would undo her. She bounced the ball once, then twice, and thought about all the versions of herself that had stood in this exact spot: junior, rookie, hope, headline, doubt. She chose the present. The rally stretched. Then stretched again. The ball scraped the line. The point ended, not with a winner, but with an error forced by patience. That was the moment. Not the trophy. Not the ranking. Not the headline. The moment she proved, mostly to herself, that struggle had never been the warning they thought it was. It had been the preparation. When the season ended, the conversation moved on. It always does. New names. New predictions. New futures declared fragile.